Hello teacher, I am going to introduce two important topics in communicative language teaching. Let's start with the principles of CLT. CLT is an approach towards language teaching and learning. Also, its goal is to make the use of the real situations to stimulate language in CLT. The first principle is using tasks as an organizational principle. Using CLT methodologies, grammar is no longer the principal issue. In other words, the development of communicative skills is placed at the forefront. The second principle is promoting learning by doing. A task-based approach to learning implies the notion of learning by doing. It's based on the theory that a hands-on approach positively enhances learners' cognitive engagement. The third principle is input needs to be rich. In this part we can see that we are exposed to faces in numerous contexts and situations over many years. There is no way we can replicate this rich input in the classroom in order to develop native-like language skills. And the third part is this is one of the most obvious needs in teaching a foreign language that students need oral and writing input from teachers. The fourth principle is input needs to be meaningful, comprehensible, and elaborate. One essential thing for learning to occur is that the information we process needs to be meaningful. The information which is being presented must be clearly related to the existing knowledge. And the third is I would like to emphasize that the knowledge learners already know needs to be organized in such a way that the new information is easily assimilated to the learner. The fifth principle is promoting cooperative and collaborative learning. Cooperative and collaborative learning has long been recognized as a strong facilitator for learning. Students work together in small cooperative teams such as groups or pairs. And finally, in second language learning, students also work cooperatively on language learning tasks or they even achieve collaborative language learning goals. The sixth principle is focusing on form. One of the debates about grammar teaching is one the use of whether to make grammar explicit or whether to have the learners figure out the role themselves. The seventh principle is providing corrective feedback. Feedback can be categorized in two ways, the positive and negative feedback. The first is when it confirms the correctness of a student's response, and the second is known as a hero correction, which has a corrective function on a student's language behavior. The last principle is recognizing effective factors of learning. Consistent relationships have been demonstrated between language, attitudes, motivation, performance, and certain achievement in second language learning. Let's start with the point 3, task-based language teaching. The traditional education does give no importance to interaction and real communication. Consider the traditional language teaching methods. There are several aspects that need to be changed. For example, defining test. According to Sheehan, 1996, define a task as an activity in which meaning is primary. Also, is some sort of relationship to the real world. The second part is a task-based syllabus. According to Ellis and Shinzani, 2013, language teaching involves decision about the content, teach, and how to teach the content. The third part is the implementation of TPL, that is the participatory structure of lesson concerns how the teacher and student's contribution to the performance of the task are organized. According to Segalowitz, 2005, while students' role changed from language learning to communicator. In this part, teachers can facilitate learning performance of input-based tasks carried out in a world-class context, and teachers can scaffold learners, orientate learners to focus on meaning by making the task outcome, and the third is that make use of L1 to support the learner's comprehension. The other part is task in language and content-based instruction. In this part we have the plurilingualism, that is the ability to use language for the purposes of communication and intercultural interaction. Also the bilinguals, they are more creative and they develop more learning skills. There are different characteristics, for example, the syllabus is organized around the content, the meaningful tasks are performed, and the methodology follows the principle of CLT. Thank you so much for your attention. That was it about the topic.